Hello everyone. Making this video here. I had a person ask me about learning foreign languages in school. This person asked me how do I feel about learning foreign languages in school. Well, I hate to I hate to bash. I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing, bashing programs or whatnot. But I basically like to tell the truth you know, about the system, about the schools and the system. They don't really teach you. They don't really teach you the way, you know. And I feel that anyone who's interested in the foreign language, they should be taught the way, on how to go about learning a foreign language. Not just giving them the curriculum, just giving them the material, and you go chapter by chapter by chapter, you know, and that's it. They need to have in place. They need something to where they can teach you actually, teach you how to learn language. And once they teach you that, then you can like learn languages on your own independently. Okay, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't do something like that. Perhaps it's a business. They want to bring the students back, keep them coming, keep dragging them. You know, perhaps that's what the reason is. But the way I look at it is, you will save a lot of money. You will save a lot of money. You go take a foreign language in school, 4 years. Add that up. Add the tuition up. Okay, and ask yourself, is it worth it? Because by the time you get to your fourth year, I mean, you'll know a pretty good amount of the language, but is it adequate? Is it adequate with the money you've spent learning that language? You're probably better off. You're probably better off learning a language independently. Now I know. Many of you saying, well, not everyone knows how to learn languages. Not everyone knows how to go about learning languages. But I think if you compare that, going to school, taking language in school, and just going by yourself to go buy the books, buy the material, whatnot, you'll probably be better off doing that on your own than taking classes at the school, because you will save a lot more money, and eventually you will come up with your own methodology of, everyone has their own way of learning language. Okay, everyone has their own way of learning language. And, eventually, if you're a beginner, if you've never studied foreign language before, then you eventually you'll come up with your own methodology and be able to continue learning not just one language but multiple languages. You see, that's the problem. They don't teach you that in the schools. They don't teach you that, and it's kind of like it's the same with other subjects. Like I feel that like we should in the schools we should be taught the fundamentals of life. Okay, we should be taught the fundamentals of life. The stuff like saving money. They should teach us how to save money, and people. That's a big problem in society. People don't know how to save money. They don't know how to save money, and that's part of education. And I think that should be part. That should be part of the part of education, part of the system. That should be. They should teach that to us as kids. Middle school. They should teach that. Teach us how to save money. Teach us how to grow food. And not having to depend on the government and whatnot. Because that's basically what you're doing. You're just depending on. You got to go back. You go to. So people say, oh, I got to go to school to do this. Got to go to school. If the language. I got to go to school, but you don't have to. You don't really have to. It's just the only thing is just you just need that. You just need that way. You need that way. Someone to show you the way. Show you the way on how to go about learning the language. They should just make a program or something to teach the students how to do that. Because once they get that knowledge, then they can apply that with any language. They can apply with any language. Studying independently. So, a guy asked me, how I felt about learning languages at school. And that's how I feel. I feel that most of the time at school they not really they give you the curriculum. It's just they basically give you the curriculum, and it's like prerequisite. Okay, you gotta take this. You take this 101. You go to 102, 103, and it's pretty much the same. I mean, you learning. I'm not saying you're not learning anything. You're learning, of course, the content, but um, you're not really learning how to learn a foreign language. You're not learning how to, you're not learning how to do it. We need to be taught how to do it. Not only the content, but we need to be taught how to go about learning a foreign language. Okay? That's important. That's very important. So, like I said, I don't like to, perhaps to many of you, I'm bashing programs at school, but I'm not. I'm just telling the honest truth. That's the truth. It's the truth. You got many people, they get degrees, and they get degrees in these foreign languages, but a lot of them, they can't really, they're not really, they don't have a good command of the language in all aspects. You don't have a good command in the language, but you do have your exceptional students. You do have your exceptional students. Those students who are willing to go outside the box, they're willing to go outside the box and put more hard work into it. But then, how hard is that? That's pretty difficult for those who are taking multiple classes. Full time, 20 hours? They take 20 hours. Many people, they don't have time to do that. If they're like Japanese majors, Chinese majors, they don't have time to put that extra hard work outside the class, because they have to focus on that. They have to focus on what's being taught in the class. And most of the time, if you try to go outside the box, like for example, Japanese at Ohio State, if you try to go outside the box, they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you. They're going to basically tell you to just stick with what they're doing in the class. And I feel that, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'll spend my money, I spend my money to learn language. Why can't I go, why isn't it not okay to go outside the box sometimes when I'm spending my money to learn a language, They just keep you inside the box. So it's like they don't want you to go outside the box and learn other stuff. Why not? That's part of language. You got to explore. You don't want to be limited, and they limit you in school. You're too limited. You're too limited. So that's why I try to encourage many of the students I tutor, and other students to just learn foreign languages independently. It's difficult if you don't have a methodology at the beginning, but just get some advice from some people, and keep studying, and eventually you will come up with your own methodology. Because everyone, like I said, everyone has their own way of learning foreign languages. Eventually you'll get that. And that happened with me. When I first started learning, I started learning Chinese. I didn't have a methodology. Basically what I did, I would just, I went and got some, just like a regular person. I went and got books. I didn't know how to study. I wasn't studying right. And I was just basically trying, just going around practicing the stuff I learned. And I was just picking it up, just speaking to Chinese people every day, But I don't think I had a methodology at that time. But eventually, over time, I started getting used to studying the languages, and now I have a method. I see the methodology I have now, and it works with all foreign languages. So even if you haven't studied foreign language before, you could still try it, and get the resources. Get your resources, and study however start off however you want to start off, and just keep doing it, and eventually you'll come up with your own methodology. You would. So yeah, that's how I feel about the languages. About the languages being taught at school. They just try to get students. The grading system, I don't believe in grading. I don't believe in grading students. I don't believe it. I believe that when learning a foreign language, everyone should have fun. Because the grade doesn't really mean anything. It means something, but it means it's just basically counts. It counts towards the stuff you've done in class, but in reality, it doesn't really mean anything about your level or whatnot, because you still have to put in that work. I'm gonna make one more part to this video. Time is running out.